So the Indiana Fever had a tough battle against the Connecticut Sun today. Now, look, the Connecticut Sun is a solid team. They grind, they're gritty, and they bring it every game. But when you're not just up against the Sun, but also the referees, things get messy real quick. Let's talk about the refs for a second. Look, I'm not one of those people screaming that the game was rigged against Caitlin or the Fever, but honestly, the officiating tonight was straight up bad. Some of the calls, absolutely wild. When it comes to Caitlin Clark, what happened tonight was a no-brainer. It should have been a flagrant foul, no doubt. Dawana Bonner jumped forward out of control and took Caitlin out on the landing. Now, thankfully, Caitlin didn't get seriously hurt, but come on, how does that not get called? And speaking of the refs, look at this guy, the bald ref. He's standing just a few feet away and doesn't make the call. How do you miss that? That's 3 free points right there. I'm not saying what happens in the second or third quarter always affects the end of the game, but this was late enough that it definitely mattered. Oh, and Marina Mabrey, she was on 3 fouls at that point, so if they made the call, it would have been her 4th already in the third quarter. Caitlin Clark got body checked, rode the hip, and still no call. I've seen refs call that all the time, but tonight, nothing. It's crazy. Marina wasn't even trying to play defense. She was just running around hacking people, especially Caitlin. And you could tell it wasn't to hurt her, but to make sure she couldn't get her shot off. And yet the same bald ref standing just a few feet away misses it again. Throughout the game, the calls were all over the place. Kelsey Mitchell got called for a foul, and she wasn't even near the ball. They even had to challenge calls where the wrong player was called for a foul. It was ridiculous. The foul count? Insane. Connecticut had 11 fouls, and Indiana had 20. And if you watch this game, you'd think the Fever were the more physical team, but no. Every time Indiana looked at a Sun player, it was a foul. It felt like the refs were calling everything against them. Now, I'm not saying this was rigged, but I am saying the refs were just terrible tonight. Caitlin Clark shot only 2 free throws the entire game, and they weren't even from shooting fouls. If the officiating had been fair, she should have shot at least 9, and in a close game like this, those extra free throws matter. You're talking about giving a 90% shooter more chances at the line. The Sun got some easy calls, and the Fever were getting hacked without anything being called. It's frustrating to watch, especially when you know how much of a difference fair officiating could have made. Normally, I don't talk about the refs in my videos, but tonight, this was one of the worst officiated games I've ever seen. It wasn't rigged, just plain bad. Alright, that's it for today. Thanks for watching, and as always, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. See you in the next one.